Oi boys, welcome to another Rugby Challenge 4 video. So the first patch got released earlier today, and we'll quickly go over the patch notes. There isn't a full list of patch notes, just highlights. So we'll quickly go through those and I'll go over a couple of things that I noticed myself. Alright, so from the Facebook page it says, online is here for Rugby Challenge 4 on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The latest Rugby Challenge 4 update is now available for PS4 and Xbox One. The main focus has been on introducing online elements with the ability to now play one console versus one console. Matches with up to 8 connected consoles will be coming in future updates. So we kind of knew that online play was going to be the main focus, and that's why I wasn't really gassed for this update. But to my surprise, there has actually been quite a few changes that they didn't mention in this post, and we'll go through those after we get through this statement. So I've tried searching for a game a couple of times and I couldn't. So I just turned my console off, but here's what the menu is. You've got quick match, private match, ranked match, and the leaderboards. I'm not too sure if ranked was a part of the playlist in Rugby Challenge 3, but that's pretty interesting to see in this game. As for the leaderboards, I'm just searching through to see who's on top at the moment, and someone's already had 7 games, 156 points, but yeah, that's pretty dope to see the actual leaderboard. On there, they've got games played, wins, draws, losses, and reliability, which is another cool little feature. I'm guessing it's that reliability goes down when you don't complete a match or something, so if you don't want to ready up against that opponent, you probably have a chance to back out before the game even starts. I'm guessing that's what that's for. They then go on to say, in addition to this, there have been other multiple fixes and improvements based on fan feedback, such as female players will no longer be recruited into men's career, new Beer Pro careers will select the correct international team, reduce the amount of forward passes. I actually didn't think that was much of an issue. Added shorter match lengths for 7s career matches. Sound adjustments, that's a biggie. I turned all my sound all the way down. Numerous camera and replay fixes, that's good to see. Camera angles were, especially behind, it was a big issue for me and was on my improvements list. And the last one says many more. So like I said, these are the highlights of the patch notes, which they haven't actually posted full patch notes just yet. Finally, it says that the next Switch update is still in the works and is estimated to be around 4 to 6 weeks away, blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what have I noticed? In the background is gameplay of one of my games that I played. I played about 3 or 4. And I've got to say, I really like the changes to gameplay, and I'm surprised that they didn't actually chuck these changes into their little update release post, I guess, little blog post. But yeah, so what have I noticed? The biggest thing I've noticed is the amount of players entering the breakdown or entering the ruck. It looks like it's kept at 4 players. It's always a diamond formation at every ruck. Now for defense, that's a cool addition, but I've noticed in attack, you'll get some props or you'll get some locks in and amongst your set play, and that's actually quite annoying. Also, with the addition of less players entering the ruck, it kind of makes the ruck feel way longer to complete for some reason. Now in the patch notes they said they toned down the forward passes, but for me, it's gotten even worse. The AI, one of my games, the AI threw at least 5 or 6 in a single half, or maybe more than that. So yeah, I'm not too sure what the go is with that, but it feels like it's gotten worse for me. Another thing I've noticed, a couple of good things. The completion times for a scrum have been shortened, so they used to take at least 5 to 6 or maybe 5 to 7 pushes. They now take a max of 4 pushes. That's a really good improvement in my opinion. Another thing I've noticed is the referee kits. They're no longer white and blue, they're purple and pink, I think. Yeah, purple and pink, you'll see it in the video anyway. Another really noticeable change. Actually, let me know if you've got the game, let me know if you've noticed this. But it feels like players or player speeds have been decreased, especially within backs. It's either that or fatigue plays a major factor now, because in one of my games I made a breakaway with one of the wingers and he got run down, which is actually a rare sight pre-patch. Now that could be due to a number of things. They could have decreased everyone's speed, or they could have possibly adjusted the sprint speed duration, because it does feel like they do slow down at some point. Or it could be fatigue, like I said. I'm not too sure, but something feels different with the player speeds, and I actually like this change. I've also noticed, I strung together quite a few phases on the pro difficulty level. Even on pro, I think around 5 to 7 phases, we retained possession and just I kept throwing it to my forwards. I should have recorded that bit of the gameplay and chucked it up, but there seems to be an improvement in that area. I've also noticed less knock-ons during the lineouts and during the goal kicking. There seems to be no console lag or whatever it was. That slight delay that would make you miss the throw or mistime the kick. It was rare for me on the kick, but it always happened when I was trying to throw in on the lineout. Frame rate in general feels a little more stable. The set plays feel like they take less time to set up, but they also feel like they run the plays fairly flat, and I've gotten intercepted quite a few times. And finally, I've actually noticed a couple changes to AI. They do feel like they're playing a little bit better on pro, and when they're in their 22, they're finally clearing the ball, and even from in goal, they're no longer trying to run it out. So that's a good change. You do, however, still see the odd 30-meter pass every now and then. So my overall thoughts on this patch or this update. I know the main priority was online play, but they've done plenty under the hood. The biggest positives for me would probably be the ruck commitment, the player speeds, man. Whatever they did, I like that change. And also the subtle changes to AI. They still sometimes do the odd pass to a player when they're already through a gap. You know, little things like that, they still exist. I mean, in saying that, they probably didn't even touch AI. It could have just been adjustments to sliders for teams and whatnot. But I don't know. I wish we got actual patch notes with in-depth information. But for the most part, this update, they did a good job. It's a step in the right direction, and I'd be interested to see if we'll get this many improvements with the rest of the updates to come, however many it may be, because we got quite a few little improvements. Still plenty of work that needs to be done. I think later this week actually next week, I'll put together a video of improvements I'd like to see, especially in career mode and beer pro mode. It's actually good timing with the patch as we just finished our first season, and we'll be doing another round of career mode. See how much of an impact these changes have made. And for Beer Pro, there's a lot of things that need to be done with Beer Pro as well. But yeah, if you've got the game, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the update. Do you think the game has been improved, and do you notice the changes that I've noticed that wasn't listed? Or am I just bugging, especially that player speed one? Someone let me know. As always though, if you want to see more Rugby Challenge 4 content, or more content in general, be sure to run it straight at that like button. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you later.